Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Lovely to see you all today. Thank you, audience. Welcome, welcome, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Right, guys, welcome to the Phil Neville Show. Right, so obviously we're going to talk about some stuff. We're going to have to get serious in this video as well. Yeah, thank you for the lovely start with the with your lovely round of applause. So yeah, where should we start off? Well, we're going to start off with the Phil Neville news, right? So first we'll do the training sessions, right? So for this week, Phil has been training for Crewe Alexandra. You know, playing for the League One side. Obviously, I think they're in League Two now, I believe. And obviously, in a decent training session. You know, obviously, the project keeps going on. He's wearing different kits every week. This was the 12th week in a row we have done this. You know, it's been fantastic. And next week we'll be working with Derby County in the Championship. So, you know, we're going to try and learn some new skill moves. You know, we're going to try do a lot more new stuff to add to the excitement of these training sessions as well. So yeah, you know, the series just keeps going on, guys. You know, he's going all over Britain, all over in, you know, he's been going in all over the English football leagues. He's been up into the Premier League. He's been with QPR, West Ham. He's been at the lower leagues in Wimbledon, and we just keep going on. We just keep going. The requests keep coming up. We've got a lot more teams to come in the future with Derby next week, then the week after working with Bournemouth. And, you know, we've got Rate the Kits. There's a lot of exciting stuff coming up. Now, the news in Phil Neville on the internet, unfortunately, for Phil, he's not very happy at the moment, and neither am I. Bury Football Club are no longer in existence. They're out of business. Company's been closed down, been expelled from the English Football League after a takeover had unfortunately collapsed. So unfortunately, Bury Football Club are no longer a football club. With a club with such proud history, 125 years. So sorry for Phil, so sorry for his family as well. Horrible time for Bury Football Club supporters, you know, that the club's gone out of existence. It's so heartbreaking. I really don't know what to say. I really think the EFL have not helped them out at all, you know. You've got to look at what could happen to Bolton Wanderers. You know, they could possibly be going out of business as well. It's so sad what's happened to these two football clubs. I'm really sorry for what's happened, and you know, I wish I could say something that would make you feel better. I really wish, you know, there was something I could do, you know, or something I could say. Don't come in. So, it's just so difficult at the moment. So, really sorry about that, Bury supporters. It's so heartbreaking. You know, there's some people who have gone there their whole lives. You know, they've supported the club through thick and thin, and you know, this is a massive blow to English football. It's just so heartbreaking. And you know, Phil has said, you know, his mum worked there. She resigned last week. His dad worked there for 26 odd years as well. You know, and it's just so sad as well, you know, for the people of Bury, that the football club has come to an end. And you know, very sad. You know, and Phil obviously is working. He's got friendly with the England women's side as well. So good luck to the team. Good luck to you, Phil, as well. I'll always back you, Philip. Right. So we're gonna talk about something else now. Let's move the conversation on. we haven't really got any stats this week. Haven't really picked out any stats this week. Might be some I can remember. Some continued on from last week. But we're gonna look at some topics. I've written some questions down. I'd like you guys in the comments below to get involved and give your views, especially Watford supporters. Watford supporters, please come in down in the comments below and please type down your opinion on this situation. I've put a question of, will Javi Gracia be sacked by Watford? Now, Watford have had a very bad start. Yes, they won last night in the Carabao Cup. So, I mean, good that you won a game, nice, but it's the Carabao Cup first round, and no disrespect, but it is Coventry. So, I don't really see any relevance in that, but in their league form has been appalling. 3 defeats in a row, 1 goal so far, which is scored by Andre Gray against West Ham. It's just, I don't know. I just think, I think personally, I thought after that West Ham game, I thought, right, I think if he don't beat Newcastle, I think he's got to go. I don't think that should be concerning, don't worry. It happens all the time when somebody's cooking something. Don't worry about it. Right, I'll just talk over it. So, basically, there has been, I think he should be sacked, personally. If they don't get a result against Newcastle this week, because I think, he's been given a chance to the October break. I've got nothing against him. Don't worry, I've not got anything against Watford either. But I've heard rumours that he's been given the chance till the October break to turn results around. But I think, I don't know. You don't want to be sacking managers left, right and centre. But I think, personally, this Newcastle game has a lot of stake. There's a lot at stake for Watford in particular. He did very, very well with Watford. He's the first manager since Watford were promoted in 2015 to the Premier League that has seen out more than one season. So that is quite impressive, personally. Although he did take over for half of the season when Marco Silva was sacked. But he's done very, very well. He got Watford to push for a European challenge to try and finish 7th place. Wolves got that place. They've ended up finishing 11th. And then they got to the FA Cup final, which they lost 6-0 against Man City. They had a good chance with Pereira. They missed a penalty. No, they didn't miss a penalty. They had a penalty which wasn't given. And obviously they lost the game 6-0. And it was quite a good season, but a very sour end. And I think some of that poor momentum has taken into the season. Lost 3-0 home to Brighton, 1-0 against Everton, and then 3-1 against West Ham. I think if they don't beat Newcastle this week, because I thought it would be a big game for both teams, really, but I think he will get that bit longer because Newcastle won last week against Spurs, and it's only massive for Watford that they win this game. But if it was for both teams, I think maybe that could have been the end. It had a crackling noise there. I don't think they should be too concerned about it. So yeah, personally, I wouldn't be surprised if Javi Gracia lost his job anytime soon, because I know what Watford are like. They're very harsh with their managers. They sacked Quique Sanchez Flores, they sacked Walter Mazzarri, and they sacked Marco Silva. So, I don't know what's going to happen. I thought Quique Sanchez Flores was a very good manager for Watford, but yeah, they got rid of him. Mazzarri, correct, he was terrible, I thought. Couldn't speak English, never thought it was really right for Watford. Although I'm not really a Watford supporter, I didn't really focus on them in that season. Marco Silva had a good start. That's what happens with Marco Silva. He has a good start to a season, and it all turns wrong, but he's brought them back up again, which is nice for Everton. Although they lost to Villa last week, I think they'll get back on track this weekend against Wolves. I think their Europa League campaign is giving them a bit of some problems, but we'll talk about that in another point of the video. Will Teemu Pukki, be good enough for a top 6 club? Now, I don't mean this season. I know it's really early in the season. He's started really, really well, but and I don't mean next season either. But let's say if for the next 2, if he spends 2 or 3 years at Norwich in the Premier League, and he's still on fire like he is at the moment, would a top 6 club take him? Do you know what? I'd have him at Man United at the moment with the form he's in. I'd have him at Man United. Honestly, I really, really would, because he's such a great goal scorer at the moment. He's scored a lot of goals in the Championship, and he's scored. He's made a really good start in the Premier League. So I'd say why not? I'd take the chance and take him personally. He's done really, really well for Norwich City, and I really like Norwich. I'm glad they're back in the Premier League, but I think in the next few years, if he can keep Norwich in the Premier League with his goals, I think he could play for a team, maybe like an Everton or a Leicester, or maybe Chelsea could even sign him. You don't know. So you just got to think of the bigger picture, really, haven't you? You got to think of what kind of player, is a good striker, is a very clinical striker. I think he could do well for a top 6 club in the future, or maybe a club like Everton could take him. They've got Moise Kean at the moment. I think they should, Keane and Iwobi should start this weekend against Wolves. But I think he would be good for a club like Everton or a Leicester or a West Ham or maybe a Chelsea. You don't know. I think he could play for a top six club. Maybe not Liverpool, Man City or Tottenham as such, but maybe like a United or Chelsea or a Everton or maybe Wolves. I don't know, but I don't know. I think he could do in the next few years. That's what I personally think, because I think I already think he's going to be a top striker. I think he's got a lot of potential in him. He didn't do well at Celtic when he was there a few years ago. I actually didn't know he played for Celtic, but in an interview Chris Sutton he had before the Chelsea game, Chris Sutton said, he's not good enough. But, I think he's really, really done well. Look what can happen in any sort of career. So, next question we're going to ask is, will Neymar finally leave PSG? I think he will. I think the only club he will go to is Barcelona. I can't see Real getting him, because where would they play him? They've got Hazard, they've got Bale. Would they play him up front? I don't know whether they can play that position. I don't know. I don't really watch a lot of European football outside of England, really. I don't watch Bundesliga. I don't watch La Liga. I don't watch Serie A. I don't watch Ligue 1 either. Nice pronunciation. And, but I think he will go back to Barcelona. I think he'll go back to play with Messi and all the great players that they have. Suarez, I think he could leave Barcelona as well. I just think he's very unhappy at PSG. PSG are very unhappy with him. They've dropped him from the team. The fans don't like him. It's just all turmoil at PSG at the moment. So yeah, I think that personally, Neymar will go back. Will Leeds United actually get promoted to the Premier League? Now, I've got Huddersfield Town friends, I've got some family who support Leeds, and I'm not going to say yes or no, because they look good, but you just don't know, because they bottled it last year against Derby. I wouldn't be surprised if they bottled it, and I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't bottle it. Either way, it's Leeds, they're a quality team. They've got Eddie Nketiah, Patrick Bamford. They've had such a really good start to the season. I think they've only dropped. They lost last night in the Carabao Cup to Stoke on penalties, but I don't really care about that. They've dropped They've dropped 2 points in the Championship, after a 1-1 draw with Nottingham Forest. They will win games, they will lose games. That's the Championship for you. But I do think that I do think they've got a very, very good chance. I think Leeds and Fulham will be the favourites, and I think they've got a fantastic opportunity of getting Premier League promotion. I think they've got a really good quality squad. I think the addition of Eddie Nketiah will help Leeds United. But, you just don't know, really. Norwich and Sheffield United were too good for them. I kind of hope Leeds snuck in there, that they could get automatic promotion. Because I saw a lot of good teams in the Championship, like Derby and Villa, West Brom, and obviously, Leeds themselves, and they might have gone above Sheffield United. You wouldn't have known really, but yeah, I think this time round, there's a lot of good teams. I think West Brom struggling a little bit at the moment. I don't think they've lost a game yet, but they're drawing a lot. They're a bit like Sunderland in League One, drawing a lot of games like they did last season. So you just don't know, do you? But Leeds, yeah. I think them and Fulham will possibly be the favourites. There might be a surprise team as well, which we'll get onto in a moment. The next one is the North London Derby verdict. Right, I think that this is going to sound controversial. My brother agrees with me, but I think there's more pure hatred between Arsenal and Spurs than there is between Liverpool and Man United, and I mean that. I think on the pitch, it's a bit more tense between Liverpool and United. I think it's more, both teams, Liverpool and United, are the most successful English clubs. But I think it's more, some of them are quite serious, but I think it's more banterous between Liverpool and United. But with Arsenal and Spurs, I can see that pure anger and hatred. I can see it, in the Arsenal fans. There was something I saw yesterday watching the Football Terrace. And he showed a video of a Spurs fan saying, your snobby mentality, and they were shouting at each other. I can see the tense anger and pure hatred. I can see it getting overheated on the pitch. I can see it getting out of hand. I'm so excited to watch this game on Sunday, and I'm not even an Arsenal or Spurs fan. I'm looking forward to that game rather than our trip to Southampton on Saturday. And I really, really mean that. I think I'm really excited about watching this game. This is going to be massive. This is going to be big. I am absolutely looking forward to watching this. My brother and my dad are Arsenal supporters. And, I think there's more hatred between Arsenal and Spurs than Liverpool and Man United. I think it's more banterous between Liverpool and United, although there is some tension out there as well. But yeah, I'm going to go for Arsenal 3, Spurs 1. Sorry, Tottenham, but things are not going well at Tottenham at the moment. They're a bit like us. Tottenham have got more quality, definitely more than us. But I can see that, I can see Tottenham possibly slipping out the top 4. Things, just because of the atmosphere. I'm not saying that they are, but I can see it happen. I can see it possibly happening. It's a possibility. And, I just don't think it's a very happy camp at the moment at Spurs. In all their games so far, they've gone behind. They've conceded the first goal. You can see the first against Aston Villa, and they had to come back to win. They had to come back twice against Man City. They had to come back again. They conceded the first goal against Newcastle, and they lost the game. And I think personally that they might finish outside the top 4. Maybe one of the teams I'm not saying it will, but say maybe you got to look at teams like Wolves and stuff like that. I said that Tottenham would finish in the top 4. I said that they'd finish 3rd, but you just don't know. If they lose games like this, and I think if they lose their heads against Arsenal, I think it could, I think, it might affect them. I think they could have some bad results over the course of the season. You just don't know what's going to happen, do you? So, obviously, I'm looking forward to this game. It's going to be absolutely huge. I'm going to go for Arsenal 3, Spurs 1. I think Aubameyang will score. I think Nicolas Pepe will score. And I'm going to go for a Lucas Torreira goal to get back-to-back goals. And Harry Kane to score for Spurs. Next question is, could Charlton get promoted to the Premier League? Now, Lee Bowyer, do you remember him? He had a fight with his own teammate at Newcastle, Kieran Dyer, who was I'm a Celebrity Get Me Out of Here a few years ago. And they both had, they both had a fight, the teammates. And Graham Souness was the manager. I think it was 2003 or 2004 or 2005. I do not know. If there's any Newcastle supporters or anybody that can tell me that, please put that in the comments below. And I'll say thank you, something. Always reply to my comments. I like to, if I understand it. Charlton, I think they've got a really good chance. They've had a really good start to the Championship this season. They're unbeaten so far. Obviously Newcastle fans are like this because he beat Sunderland in the playoff final. Sunderland were 2 years in the Premier League, and you would have thought, oh, Sunderland will win that. They're too good. They're in the Premier League 2 years ago, so they'll win it. And Charlton scored a last-minute winner from their captain to get the winning goal. I think his name's Patrick Bauer. I think that's his name. So if it isn't, please let me know. But I think they've got a good chance. I'd like to see Charlton in the Premier League. I really, really would. The last time they were in there was 2007. They went down with Watford and Sheffield United, because that's the last time Sheffield United were in the Premier League, and that were managed by Neil Warnock. Charlton, I think, I really hope they get promoted to the Premier League. That would be really, really good for them. And I think they've got a good chance of getting into the playoffs, really. I think they've got a decent chance, but it's early in the season. Time will tell. You never know what is going to happen. Maybe a team like, QPR might come up or something, for example. Or a team that started the season quite badly might turn it around and start winning loads of games. You just don't know, do you? So that's what we're going to do. Not what we're going to do. That's what I think. Charlton could get promoted. I think maybe they've got a good chance of getting into the playoffs. Please let me know in the comments below. Right, the next one is, will Huddersfield and Sheffield Wednesday actually appoint a manager? Right. I've got two managers who I think will take over at both clubs. Huddersfield Town. If I was Huddersfield Town and I was looking for a new manager, I would not go for a young German manager. Right. I watched the United stand yesterday. Mark Goldbridge, I'm a very big fan of him. He says some funny stuff. He made me really laugh yesterday. Saying that we need to help Bury and Bolton out. And he rubbished. He said it was all rubbish, and he said that we shouldn't. He said, Man United board are obsessed with looking for the next Sir Alex Ferguson. So obviously, they're looking for, they're trying to, look for the next Sir Alex. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer clearly, obviously played under Sir Alex, and he obviously he had a good start. He was brilliant as the interim manager. Then it all went downhill from there, and I just don't think that he is the next Sir Alex Ferguson. And I think Huddersfield Town, their point of view is they're looking for the next David Wagner. But Jan Siver, I think they made a massive mistake appointing him. I mean, obviously, you want to prepare for the Championship and stuff like that. But I think there's better options out there than getting an unknown young coach. He won one game in his entire career at Huddersfield. One game. That was against Wolves back in February. So I'd say Sol Campbell will be a very, very good option for Huddersfield. He's available. I think he did really, really well with Macclesfield. He knows the Football League, and he's played at the highest level as well with Arsenal, being such a successful player. So there's 4 points there, Huddersfield, why I think you should appoint Sol Campbell as your manager. Sheffield Wednesday, I think that they will go for. I don't know. They've still got the guy Lee Bullen in temporary charge, and I think Chris Hughton I think Chris Hughton should take over. I think they've got. I don't know much about funds, but I think Sheffield Wednesday is a big club. I think it's got 2 teams promoted from the Championship, Brighton and Newcastle. It's very good at keeping you in the Premier League. That is, if you do get there. Yes, he don't play the most attractive football, but he does get you to win games. Although it didn't happen quite as well when obviously at Brighton last year. And he is a good manager. I really rate Chris Hughton very, very highly. So yeah, that's what I think. Chris Hughton should be the next Sheffield Wednesday manager. And Huddersfield are playing Sheffield Wednesday on the 15th of September, which is quite interesting actually, because it's a Yorkshire derby. I like both teams really. I'm going to watch it on telly if I can. And I think if they don't have new managers by then, I'll be quite shocked. The interesting thing is that the next day on the Monday, I've actually done something. The winner of Huddersfield and Sheffield Wednesday gets 99 rated Phil Neville to train with them on the Monday on my YouTube on FIFA 13. So I'm really excited to find out who wins that. I'm proper excited for that game as well. It's going to be a tense Yorkshire derby. So I'm looking forward to that one. But those are my reasons really. Right, we're going to go into something else now. We're going to go on to Team of the Week. I haven't got really any stats for you. I haven't written any down yet. So we're not going to find any today. What we are going to do is, Timu Puke got his 5th goal, keeps his scoring form going. Man United have been awarded a penalty in every single game in the league so far. 1 scored, that was the 4-0 winner for Chelsea, and 2 missed. Pogba against Wolves and Rashford against Palace. This week we've got Southampton. We've got Mike Dean as a ref. I can see him giving a penalty. Hopefully it's to us. Imagine if you've got a penalty every single game of the season. That'd be brilliant. But hopefully, we'll probably miss them. So yeah, that's all the stats we've got for you. Tottenham have gone behind in every game in the league so far. So yeah, that's it really. That's all the stats I've got for you. That'll be better next week. I'm actually next week definitely gonna do my transfer window since it's the international break, and I've had a chance to look at stuff in terms of look at stuff like how the players have done so far in the first the first 4 weeks of the season. That's it really. Right, this is my team of the week. Right, I only had 1 view. I haven't really had any comments so far, but in team of the week I have done. I put Patricio in goal. I thought he was quite good. He's had a good week as Rui Patricio. He made a really important clearance on the line, blocked it on the line. And he had to make a. I think he had to make a decent few saves against Burnley. Burnley were the better team in that game against Wolves. And I think I'd put him in the goal. I think he had a decent performance against Burnley. So I'm going to say Patricio as my goalkeeper. Yes, sorry, poor reasoning. Engels at right back. Obviously it was a part of a Villa side that kept a clean sheet, got physical, even had a bloody mouth in the game against Villa against Everton on Friday. He didn't care about it, just got on with the game. Engels gets my right back position. And the 2 centre halves for Newcastle, by the way, the Newcastle United, congratulations, you win the dominance in my team of the week 11. I put Jamal Lascelles. I thought he was brilliant, even with the penalty appeal for Harry Kane. I thought it should have been a penalty. I said yesterday in the ref show, I was glad that Mike Dean didn't give the penalty. Thank you, Mike. And Paul Dummett was excellent as well at centre back as well. They were just rock solid. At left back for a second week running, I've gone for Christian Fuchs again. Obviously, he was out there. He was part of a Leicester winning side, so I thought, you know what? Why not? Just go for Christian Fuchs again. Midfield 3, I'm going to go for Mason Mount because he was incredible against Chelsea. He got another goal for them. He's a brilliant, talented midfielder. Really like him. He's doing really well under Frank Lampard. Did well with Derby in the Championship last season. I think he's a fantastic midfielder. I thought he had another great game against Norwich last week. So he's in my midfield 3. David Silva got his 400th Premier League appearance against Bournemouth on Sunday. Congratulations, David Silva. I thought he played really well in that game. And Nathan Redmond got a goal. Right place, the right time to secure all 3 points for Southampton in their 2-0 win against Brighton. Front 3, I've gone for Mo Salah for getting 2 goals against Arsenal. Impressive penalty and really good run past David Luiz. A lot of pace, brilliant. Jordan Ayew on the left-hand side got a goal against United. Try not to be salty about it with some of the decisions. I didn't really think I got the rub of the green with. I'm completely Palace were fantastic. They deserved to win the game, as I keep saying. But he got the opening goal and he did well, tracked back. He did all sorts of great stuff in that game against United. So I'm going to put him in my team. And up front, I'm going to go with Sebastian Haller for getting 2 great goals. Very clinical, fantastic second goal as well. Welcome to the Premier League. I've said every week he's going to get a goal in the Premier League, and he's finally got them. So well done, Sebastian Haller. So that is my team of the week. I've gone 4-3-3 again. We're going to look at some stories now. There's only one story that I found particularly amusing. Florian Andone, who plays for Brighton, was sent off for a horrible challenge on Jan Valery. Now, that is not the funny part. Before there's anybody that comes on to this channel and says, "Oh, you're a horrible person. You wanted Jan Valery to break his leg so he couldn't play against United." No. I like Jan Valery. I think he's a really good player. But I wouldn't want any player to get seriously injured. Never. Right? The funny part is, before the game, when the players were entering the stadium, walking onto the pitch, entering the stadium, Bernardo, his teammate, rather stupidly, but he meant it in a playful manner, didn't do it ridiculous, he didn't do it to deliberately hurt him, right? Kicked Andoni on the back of the ankle, and you know how easy football players get injured, and he's like, "What are you doing?" Imagine, I can imagine like my brother or something. If me and my brother were like footballers, right, and he kicked me on the back of the ankle, but like, what the hell are you doing? I'd be quite annoyed as well if I was Florian Andone. But then he went onto the pitch, still angry, tried to break his leg. Luckily, Jan Valery is okay, but thankfully, horrible challenge. Deserved a red card. I thought the referee had a really good game at Brighton yesterday. Obviously talked about that yesterday as well. And but yeah, it sparked his anger, and I just don't think it's nice that you're motivated. Players need to show a bit of aggression, but not like that. That's a wrong kind of aggression. So yeah, that's a story really. But yeah. Right, here's some transfer gossip I found out. I was meant to write some down like every single day, but I haven't really got to it. Could Wilfried Zaha possibly replace Neymar at PSG? Now, I think that's big boots to fill, but I think he'd want that challenge. I think he would. I think he's got the determination. I think he's got the fire. I think he'd want to go to PSG and play. But I think he just wants out of Crystal Palace. I think he just should go to. I just think he should go to PSG personally. I think that'll be a good move for him. Maybe people might think he's overrated, and it's a big step for him. Of course it is, but he wants to play Champions League football. I just say why not. The next news is James Maddison to Man United next season. Don't think he'll come this season, but I think let's still keep hold of him. PSG want Keylor Navas and Paulo Dybala. At least it's showing some really good ambition. Zaha, Navas and Dybala in your side. Good signings, I think. QPR's Etse to Southampton. That'd be a good step for him to move from the Championship to the Premier League. If you don't know who Etse is, he plays for Queen's Park Rangers, and I'm thinking if he went to Southampton to play in the Premier League, I think that'll be a good start for his career. Now, guys, that is going to be the end of the video. Hope you all enjoyed it. Hope you all have a great day. We'll be back next week. We'll be doing more Phil Neville news. We'll be doing a transfer table sort of thing, like a transfer league table that everybody's doing, and more gossip, more news. Gonna try for some more funny stories. It's gonna be better next time than today probably was. So thank you guys. Hope you all enjoyed it. I shall see you on Friday. I'm not going to do a video tomorrow. I'll be here on Friday to do my Southampton preview. Goodbye.